you do want, if you know you're in a spot and you need some help and you're scared, most people are, they're embarrassed when they come in. You know, it's all confidential. Everything we talk about is absolutely free. No one's going to know your business. And we do Zoom calls. So we do it by Zoom. You can call me, and that's a landline. So call, if you call, don't text. I don't get it. But we can definitely do Zoom call and meet online and work on your situation. But also, there are so many resources out there. There's something called SafeBuy. I think you see Crown Financial Ministries. There's Ron Blair. There's Dick Ramsey. All of those are helpful. So many people have gotten out of debt using those programs.
If you'd like to sit down with Unruh and lay out your situation and ask how she can help, contact her at First National Bank by calling 217-935-7464. As temperatures soar this week, the Illinois Department of Public Health is offering information about heat-related illnesses. The most serious condition is heat stroke, says State Public Health Chief Medical Officer Dr. Artie Barnes. She says the warning signs include your body temperature reaching 104 degrees or higher, skin getting hot, and confusion in a rapid pulse. Good news anytime at thewithdailynews.com.
A meteorologist, Jennifer Fleet you with your regional radio weather forecast sponsored by Sarpro and Piatt in DeWitt counties, offering cleaning, restoration, and construction. A heat advisory begins at 11 a.m. today and continues until 7 p.m. Saturday night. Partly cloudy this afternoon with a slight chance for scattered storms. Highs around 95. Southwest winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 82.
Summer is here, and that means allergies, pink eye, rashes, and earaches. CEO Paul Skowron here from Warner Hospital and Health Services, here with the solution. Come to our walk-in clinic inside Family Medicine at Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. From summertime allergies and rashes to earaches and even sports injuries, we're here to help and enable you to get better fast. No appointment, no problem at Warner Hospital walk-in clinic inside Family Medicine in Clinton.
Hey, this is Tom Gleason from Illinois Extension here with a time change for our daily market report on WHOW. You can now catch our daily review of the commodity markets at 5:06 on all of WHOW's many platforms. You'll still hear all of our commodity analysts and weather professionals each afternoon, but at a brand new time. And you'll still hear the weekly wrap-up of the commodity markets right here on WHOW when Commodity Week airs Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. Remember the time change for the daily closing market report on WHOW at our new time, 5:06 p.m. weekdays. Central Illinois' leading online source for local news, police blotter, for the record information, obituaries, and more is DeWittDailyNews.com. Since 2008, DeWittDailyNews.com has delivered fresh, online content to internet readers, from the City Council, to School Board, to the County Board, and more. DeWittDailyNews.com covers the local news you expect from the area's #1 local news source, and it's all absolutely free. Now you have even more ways to access DeWittDailyNews.com, whether it's your desktop, laptop,
tablet, iPhone, or smartphone. DeWittDailyNews.com is delivered to all those platforms. That's right. It's even there on your iPhone and smartphone. The same local news, weather, and sports that's on the full-size edition is on your iPhone and smartphone just by going to DeWittDailyNews.com. If you haven't tried it, why don't you go to Central Illinois' leading online source for local news, police blotter, for the record information, obituaries, and more on your desktop, laptop, iPhone, or smartphone. DeWittDailyNews.com.
In Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. From the Warner Hospital this morning, we welcome in CEO Paul Skowron. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Seth.
And introduce us to Michelle Valentine you've brought with you today.
I've brought one of our best nurses, Michelle Valentine, our care coordinator from the Family Medicine Clinic. And Michelle has almost 30 years experience at Warner Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So she spent years in the emergency room. She's worked most of the departments, is providing great clinical care over all these decades. And so she's here today to talk about school physicals, sports physicals, and then Medicare Well Visits.
Sure. We got a lot to dive into today, Michelle. Thanks for coming out and talking with us.
Thanks for having me here this
Welcome.
morning.
Yeah, welcome to the barn. We appreciate you coming out. And so let's dive into it's time for those school physicals. I can't believe we're already talking about that right now, but school physicals, what do we need to know?
Well, you need to know that school physicals are required for kindergarten, 6th grade, and 9th grade, which is freshmen. They're also required if a patient is new to the school district, regardless of what grade they're going in. And the sports physicals are required for any activities that they would be in the school. While a school physical is essential and needed, a sports physical is optional. A sports physical does not act as a school physical, but a school physical can be also included with a sports physical. All the provider does is say that they're eligible to play sports.
I would presume then we can do this at Warner Hospital. Get these done at Warner
Yes,
Hospital.
we can. Yes, we can. You can call Warner Family Medicine and get that scheduled. The sports physicals can be done in the walk-in clinic, but again, that is not a school physical. A school physical is much more detailed, and that would need to be scheduled with one of our providers.
So talk to me about the difference between the two. You know, what's the school physical exam like versus the sports physical exam? What are we looking at for those?
The sports physical is more based on that overall the child is healthy enough to play in a sport, where the school physical goes into immunizations, past medical history, more detailed, and also covers anything that the school requires, like eye exams, dental exams, making everybody aware of those extras that need to be included at certain grades.
Sure. Now, can you make an appointment now for those? Is there a certain time frame to do that school physical? How about those things?
Most schools require that it is done before they start and enter into school. So the school physical will be required. I believe they're starting in the next couple of weeks here at the Clinton School District. So call today. Do not wait. You need to get that ASAP scheduled. We are accepting new patients. We do have a new provider, Dr. Menert. She is seeing patients of all ages from birth to death, and she is ready and has several openings right now because she is a newer provider. And then any of those that are established patients, just don't wait to the last minute to get it scheduled.
Sure, very good. So get in now to see the doctors for those physicals. Now, when it comes to let's say insurance and those sorts of things, is this something that insurance covers for folks that wonder?
That they would have to check with their own provider for their insurance carrier. Some of them do have the preventative health, and some do not. And I'm not completely sure on which ones do or do not.
Okay, gotcha. But check with your provider, basically.
Check with your insurance carrier, and then based on what they tell you for the school physicals, sports physicals, that would let you know.
Yeah. Now, why couldn't someone just come to the walk-in clinic and do their school physical? Why couldn't they just do that?
Because we have to have a lot of their previous information, like I said, the immunizations, any kind of health history, if they've been somewhere else to another provider. It's very important for continuity of care to make sure that they have all that past record with them.
Sure. Now, when it comes, again, our guest in studio this morning, Michelle Valentine, RN with the Warner Hospital in Clinton, Paul Skowron, CEO of Warner Hospital as well, with us here for this morning. When it comes to those physicals, Michelle, how much time should we plan to etch out for each one of those?
At least probably a half hour for the school physical, because like I said, it is a little bit more detailed. And I imagine 15 to 20 minutes for the sports physical.
Sure. Paul, anything you want to jump in here with? Anything that I haven't touched on with Michelle you want to make sure we get to this morning?
I think Michelle raised a really important point, Dr. Natasha Menert. is our new provider that's been there since November, and she really likes to work with young children. We haven't had that before, having an MD that really likes to work with very young children. So she's really provided us with the resources to see more school physicals this year.
Yeah, for sure. Has that been something that the hospital has been looking for, is to kind of tap into that school physical market a little bit bigger?
Yes.
Yeah. So this gives you that opportunity for sure. And
Indeed.
now, do those spots fill up pretty quick? Like, do you guys find that the need for the need for school physicals becomes like there's a lot of demand for those in Clinton?
The problem is, and the reason we're here is, often people wait until the second week of August and they realize as they're coming back from their vacations, oh my gosh, I got to get this done. And so we're trying to get ahead of the curve here.
Sure. Now there's not like we talked about earlier, there's not like a specific time frame where the hospital does school physicals. You can come in almost any time and schedule those, correct?
Correct. You can.
Yeah, sure. Michelle, did I miss anything you want to talk about with the school physicals? Anything of that nature?
Nope, not that I can think of.
All right, sure. Well, let's dive into a program through, is it Medicare?
Medicare.
Yeah. Tell us about this for seniors. How about this?
Yes, the Medicare Wellness Visits actually can go for anyone on Medicare. So you might find someone who's disabled in their 40s, 30s that have Medicare that also qualify for these visits. And what it is Medicare says once a year you are entitled to a free visit, not an exam, a free visit, which includes all your preventative health care evaluation, on top of making sure your chart is completed with any outside records from other physicians' offices that you may see, any immunizations that need updated. And then we also do a health risk assessment, and it gives people an idea of like, how much water do you drink a day? How much do you sleep a night? Things like that affect our health that people don't always take into consideration. We also do a social determinants of health. That is a questionnaire on, can you afford your medicine? Can you afford paying your power bill right now? Do you have enough food to feed your family? Are you safe where you live? All those things. And then that wraps into my job as a care coordinator to make sure that I can get people the resources that they need. The wellness visit goes through several different things, as far as looking for bone mass measurement for women, for a bone density test that shows whether they have osteopenia, osteoporosis, and that can be done every couple of years. The cardiovascular screening, which is your cholesterol, looking at your lipids, your triglycerides. If you're on medicine, making sure you're getting your yearly blood work. The colorectal cancer screening, it can be something simple like the Cologuard, or it could be something like the colonoscopy. It's so preventative. You take out the polyp during the colonoscopy and prevent that becoming colon cancer. There's age limits for these screenings. But like I said, you have to have your Medicare wellness visit for me to evaluate and let you know what's available. There's a diabetic screening. There's a huge number of pre-diabetic people that don't realize that until they get their fasting blood sugar done. And we can do things to prevent it from going on to a full-blown type 2 diabetes. There's lung cancer screening. There's tobacco cessation. So if you're thinking about quitting smoking, there's so many things available, either medication wise, counseling, things like that can help you. Mammograms. I can't even express how much this is so important. Even if there's no history of breast cancer in your family, to get that done. All your immunizations, you can get several of them at the office that are covered with this Medicare wellness visit. We go over a plan of what you are looking at for the year. Have you had your vision exam? Have you been to the dentist? when your labs are due, when you're due to go back to like your cardiologist, all sorts of things. It's just a long interview process with me, the nurse, and answering any questions you might have. We bring in the provider at the end, and then they clarify what they feel is most important for you to have.
Well, a lot of folks out there, Michelle, are probably listening and saying, well, that sounds good, but I don't have any, I feel fine right now. I'm healthy, or I'll just come in when I'm sick. I think Paul made the point. I've got the Medicare card, so I'll just come in when I need that health care,
Right.
that health help.
Right. And I learned, I have a saying that I have learned with doing this job. If you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness. So if you have not had a blood pressure check, if you have not had your height and weight done, which shows your BMI, which puts you at risk for like obesity, throws you into all kinds of categories, you need to have at least once a year someone evaluate that and go over medications. Make sure all your medicines, what we call, are reconciled from any other physicians that you are prescribed medication. Your primary doctor needs to know that. Your primary doctor needs to know when you've been to the cardiologist, when you've been to the eye doctor. You don't wait until you have an issue. We're trying to be, in this day and age, prevention. Get it checked out before it becomes a problem.
Yeah, and it's not just for those on Medicare. I mean, and I know Paul and I have talked about this over the years, is everybody get in for that once a year wellness check. Yeah, you never know what may pop up that keeps you alive, days, weeks, years down the road.
Right. And also for the older population, say you're 80 or 85, it is very important for your family history. It is very important to have all the documentation for generations to come. Did grandma have diabetes? Did grandma have glaucoma? That information is not always covered at a regular visit, or if you broke your toe and you're coming in to see the doctor, they're not going to ask all of that background information. So we need to get that in your chart at this visit, which is just once a year with me. It is so important. We cover advanced directives, living wills, power of attorney. I have the paperwork there. We can fill out there, or you can come back in and I can assist you with that. I also assist people with filling out paperwork that they don't understand that comes to them at home. I've helped people get hearing aids. I've helped people get appointments out of town with transportation. There's just so much that can be done. But if you don't come in for that visit, what we don't know, we can't help with.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to kind of go next, is that connecting point to whether it's within Warner Hospital and the system here in Clinton, or elsewhere, whether in the community or outside the community. It sounds like you're well versed in the services available to get people the issues met, or the things met that they have a need for.
Right. Our county here in DeWitt, we branch out. We have a lot of resources from Champaign, Springfield, Macon County, and McLean. And the general population does not realize how many resources are available for them for simple things that they need help with. And it all affects your health. And that's the part of, you have to look at the bigger picture.
All in a wellness visit.
All in a wellness visit.
Man, that's something. How do folks get a hold of you, Michelle, to make that appointment?
They can call Family Medicine. It's 217-937-5284 and ask for Michelle, or my extension is 3404. And Monday through Friday, I'm there.
Paul, anything you want to add to this conversation?
Just also that we have 3 wonderful nurse practitioners that have been doing these, seeing Medicare patients, but also taking care of the school physicals for years. But with Dr. Natasha, we can also see the much younger children that we haven't seen in the past.
Very good. So keep the Warner Hospital and Health Services on the radar then. Paul, how do folks get a hold of whether the hospital or the or find you on social media? How do they do those two things?
Our Facebook page is the most popular outlet.
Very good. Paul Skowron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services. RN Michelle Valentine with us in studio this morning. More to come with them on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Wednesday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network. Corn starting the day slightly lower, beans slightly higher, wheat double-digit lower. September corn 553 3/4, down 3 3/4. December new crop down 3 1/2, 561 3/4. March corn down 3 1/4, 572 1/4. August beans 1524 1/2, up 9. September beans up 8 1/2, 1459. November new crop 1423 1/4, up 3 1/4. September wheat 744, down 16 1/4. December wheat down 15 3/4, 765. March wheat 781, down 15 1/2. August bean meal 460 even, up 620. And August bean oil starting today 71.91, down 65 cents. Opening numbers at the Chicago Board of Trade for this Wednesday morning. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
Looking for a new Silverado? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. Yes, we finally have new Silverado inventory. We have Silverados in 1500s, 2500s, and 3500s with several trim levels. Custom, LT, RST, LTZ, and yes, high countries. This month, get an extra down payment assistance on all Silverados. Baum Chevrolet Buick. We have inventory. BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet Service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show is streaming to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Paul Skowron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services, our guest in studio for today. Paul, we've got a lot going on at the hospital. We're going to start to see some dirt move for this, the parking lot project, the new entrance, and also some new exam tables. Thank you. Coming to the hospital. Let's start there. Exam tables. What's going on?
Yes, at the Monday night board meeting, the board approved the purchase of 17 new exam tables for the patients, and 14 of those, 13 of those will go to family medicine, and 4 will go to the specialty clinic. So we've got exam tables that most healthcare facilities are still using, and 25, 30-year-old, they don't move up and down. They don't have a lot of mobility. So patients of different sizes have difficulties sometimes scooching up on those exam tables.
Right.
These new ones are hydraulic in nature, and they will go up and down, and they will lay flat, and they will go in a chair position. So folks that have to come in a wheelchair will be able to get onto the exam table and then have the exam table adjusted for the exam in a safe manner. So that was a big deal because, you know, we've talked about the specialty clinic new entrance and the parking lot that is just now being started, house demolition this week, and parking lot, and then the new specialty entrance that'll be started in the fall after the parking lot's done. This is just a great continuation of the better service. They'll have quicker access to specialty clinic, and then they will have more modern exam tables in the specialty clinic.
There you go.
And they'll also have them in the family medicine for all the patients of all the ages that come to family medicine.
Sure. About 2.5 minutes here. Give us an update on some of those projects that are going on right now.
So we had talked about the roof renovation, and that is it started a couple days ago. And I'm praying for the guys up there. They started at the crack of dawn this morning, so they could get out of there early because it's hot.
It is.
But they're pros, and I've watched them bring up their safety equipment and all the water and all the supplies early, and so we'll have a new roof shortly. And the public doesn't see that, but just for safety purposes and keeping the building cooler going forward is just a great thing. So
Sure.
we'll get another 30 years out of that roof.
Mm-hmm.
But then, of course, the ER project will start very soon, and that'll be doubling the size of the emergency room. So the outside project with the parking lot is ongoing. The roof is ongoing. And then the ER project will start within about 2 weeks.
Now we'll start to see some movement on that parking lot project here in the next week or two, correct?
You're going to see the 2 houses that are there right now demolished in the next couple of weeks.
Very good. How quickly will that turn into a parking lot?
Probably by before Labor Day.
Yeah, so the fall then.
Yes.
All right, easy enough. Good stuff. Anything else going on this summer, Paul? You want to put out there for us? Anything that we missed?
I'm just worried about these heat conditions. I've visited with the ER docs to make sure that's their business, but I just want to make sure it's top of mind for them to be expecting heat exhaustion and heat related issues to be coming into the ER here in the next couple of weeks.
No question. We'll stay safe out there to you and Michelle here this week for sure. Anything else from that board meeting on Monday? Anything we didn't get to that you want to highlight from that?
Oh, there was some IT switches that I don't think are all that exciting, but it's really important to keep the electronic health records and all the computer systems going. So we got new IT switches approved.
How do folks learn more about all things Warner Hospital?
I would go to our Warner Hospital Facebook page.
Easy enough. Paul, thanks for coming out. Michelle, thank you for making time for us. Again, Paul Skowron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services, our guest in studio. Today, he brought along Michelle Valentine, RN at Warner Hospital as well. We appreciate their time as always. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. Of course, we stream live online all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news comes your way